we see here with the women for Canada hoping to build on this legacy with some better spirit out here today to make sure that they end their campaign on a positive note.
All of the spirit results are, of course, available to look at, and certainly the thing that stands out for me in terms of these two teams is the the recognition of their own attitudes and their own performances. But hopefully we can keep everything cool out here under the sun, and with the fans, of course, the sun beginning to set behind the stands. Our showcase match this evening will be the Open Division bronze, but let's kick it off here in the women's, and a roller backhand ball for the Firetails in blue against the Canadians in white. So opening possession, Lucy Della starting off with the backhand. And inside channel, up line, great grab, of course. Both these two teams, it's about recovering, of course, from the loss earlier today, but that's a smackdown defensive play. Great hands. Tiffany Zhang with the block in the early stages. Beaudry, and that's the hands. Alexandra Patterson, the double glove, big look down under.
So both sides here can see the flags in the background, just a little bit breezy. The Australians will try to be working their way upwind. Eunice Chung bringing it in on the corner.
Cheeky inside. Sally Yu puts that one high, but of course these two teams pretty much toe-to-toe in terms of height across the board. So anything that becomes a sky ball is a fair 50-50 shot. Great containment from Canada, really putting the pass tally up and making the Firetails have to grind for everything. Lovely read by Lucy Della. And the power position shot goes up, sails over the defender. Beaudry clawing at nothing but air. Wow. Absolute wow. Tiffany Zhang. Denial defense. Hand blocks intense. Team Canada slicing through the centre pocket. Great hands. Penelope Robert Pipi getting a little bit of contact in the centre pocket.
And a frantic start for both teams. Two turns apiece, ramping up the defensive intensity.
And Beaudry opens up the big backhand. Jacobson underneath it, but there's just a little bit too much breeze to see that one sail into Canada's hands. So quite the tussle we've got in our opening point. Launching it into the deep space. And it's a second effort that is not available because that one's too close to the sideline. Alexandra Patterson getting out-jumped by Nishka Beaudry.
Beaudry already really putting plenty of pressure on the deep space for Australia.
A huge effort from Zhang. Already two notable defensive efforts, but that one just a spoon on the catch.
And I do wonder whether this slightly messy start, it's really difficult to prepare yourself mentally after a tough loss. So both teams having to turn around same day.
Oh, that was close, wasn't it? Sarah Jacobson, they are awake and ready to play. Inside, that's going to bobble, but is there a recovery? but Unistrunk unable to get there. This one, though, looks very secure. Solid catch block stuff for Kat Smith, who's enjoying the scenes, of course. This is her home turf, and looking to go big on the goal line now. Patterson, can she find an option? Don't like the give and go. Oh, and it's a cheeky toss pass up line. Australia open with a break. The Firetails flying into the breeze.
And in the end, Australia working up the open side with their offense, not allowing the Canadian team to set their defense, ultimately timing those continuation cuts really nicely, and Canada looking like they're running out of gas a little bit. The Australians just willing themselves a bit more.
Well, Australia understand the conditions on this showcase field. It was where they saw their hopes of a gold medal dashed, but throwing them up and riding the breeze. Love these toss passes directly into the face of the wind. Sort of dad backhand style. Oh, was that a push pass even? Goodness. But certainly the coaches for Australia were saying that they want their players to be playing with freedom and creativity. They say there's power in that.
Yeah, I think when the players are a bit more relaxed, that's when they play their best ultimate.
So a big old ripper pull for Phillips. It will be difficult to field. Reeve Chan picking up, but a massive rundown from Firetails. They have come out with a charge.
And not only the break, but in particular the upwind break for Australia, forcing Canada to work upwind themselves on this offensive point.
Well, trying to chuck it out of contention. Oh my goodness, what a recovery! Chloe Aymon after Kat Phillips. Looks so good for the catch block, playing the deep in the zone. Having reapplied that iconic zinc sunscreen, but blazing to the front cone. Canada with a score, and Florence Dion reels in the first goal.
Canada scoring very similarly to Australia. Just some hard cuts up that force side. As we can see, driving under and then through, and then that away shot is not easy with that upwind, but Canada, after getting broken in that first point, showing that they're up to the task, and they're switched on and dialed in to this bronze medal game.
So this coaching set for Australia, they can very fly in these sort of, what are we calling that colour? Aqua?
Aqua.
Sort of the gold and green are, of course, the Aussie colours.
Green and gold, you mean?
Yes, that's true. I will take the correction after all. This is your home turf, not mine. Of course, our countries do have a intimate and connected history. But certainly not the temperature or the conditions for my pale British skin. But we'll take it. We've been slip-slop slapping all of our way through these 6 days.
I'm sure it's been fantastic training for you, Hannah.
Training?
I mean, we have the sun up nice and bright, and we're looking for a beautiful sunset to finish off this evening.
Well, I've got to give myself the self-burn. I've got a bit of a fire tail going. It's been matching these stunning sunsets. In fact, I think probably one of the peak features of the tournament has been the sunsets. All of the players' social media. Of course, it's wonderful to follow the journeys, all the fans, all the supporters, all the parents, friends, colleagues that have helped these athletes get here.
And not only the sunsets, but the sunrise, beautiful over Surfers Paradise and the coast. I'm sure the players have been getting plenty of snaps and posting on the socials, getting engaged with their friends and family back home.
Well, Phillips getting engaged with a lovely lead pass.
Canada defense really bringing it out, forcing a high stall dash, and a stall out is called on Liv Carr.
Well, Canada's teammates just carry playing on. Liv Carr with great spirit, accepting the stall out. Curious stoppages here. Tapped back in. Ooh, nice high catch. Wynn trying to get involved, and it does for the following one. Florencia, nothing she can do about that.
Curiously, both sides having more difficulty on the downwind shots, controlling the fall of the disc. We did see Australia in the semi-final use those high release push passes and over the top dishes, actually using the downwind to their advantage. They'll be hoping that they can recreate some of that imaginative throwing.
Playing the conditions has definitely been a key feature of this tournament.
Just stuck on the sideline. That cup so tight against Australia's offense.
But a great find for Rosie Nichols, and I love that, just standing. Georgia Egan-Griffiths just saying, yeah, all right, then I'm just going to stand behind the cup and watch you break it for me. Now Caro Mark leading the charge, now receiving back. Oh, this is wonderful pace.
Using the width of the field, getting it off that sideline. Canada did well to initially get Australia to cram it up the cram hole, as we see another pick.
Well, we have such similar slang in the UK. That would be jammed in the jam hole. But cram works just as well and nicely rhymes. And nothing wrong with it. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be effective. Because if you come out of this one with a bronze medal, you won't care how you got there as long as your spirit and your intensity was high. Love these inside channel shots as we get a little bit too exuberant.
So already early in the game, both teams just feeling things out. As we mentioned, the Spirit scores a little bit below average in their previous matchup. Both looking to titrate and calibrate and work out what is acceptable in this game.
Oh, but that's a beautiful backhand break to the far sideline, just in front of the Firetails player 10.
And Australia looking confident in this up-wind direction. So confident, in fact, that looks like Canada... Sorry, I thought they had called a timeout, but looks like they are running up to the line.
Of course, we are blessed to have a full volunteer staff alongside us, making sure that all these athletes keep to time. But the shape of this game is very different to the first time these two met up. But let's look at a little bit of ultimate history. We did say it has been a solid performance for Canada women on the podium every time this side of 2000.
And Australia not having made their way onto this table yet, they would feel that this is probably their best chance with a home crowd on home soil. As we spoke about in the semi, plenty of off-field support and personnel, with the Firetails flock cheering on their squad.
What is a firetail, Avril?
It is a native bird. In fact, there was a support staff wearing a hat with the firetail on their head in some earlier rounds. We'll see if we can get a shot of that one later.
Well, for now, we'll focus on the play at hand. Beaudry shooting shots to the shoulder of the zone. Perfect placement and a big ripper, but it's going to be taken away. I mean, I'd love to see those get caught, especially considering the breeze, but a block itself will do. Nice work for Brittany McCarthy.
Australia set a zone there, forcing one way and forcing the high shot, which gave the deep the opportunity to get that block as they look to work it downfield.
Good cohesion for this Aussie side. Certainly a very different narrative to that game that was a big old tussle. To be fair, not surprising to see the comments made after the game. Huge lead was taken early doors by Canada, but this time we're going toe-to-toe. Just that one break to open us up for the Aussies. So learning their lessons, starting strong, firing through, but a pick. They bring that one back. Tap back in. Alexander looking to try and get the break in and just sends it to the back line, but I think we're going to need at least 4 rows of wanks stacked on top of each other to make that catch. But that, of course, wouldn't be allowed because there is actually a segment in the rules that says that you're not allowed to kind of sit on your teammate's shoulders. Not sure how effective of a strategy it would be on offence, but there you go.
Canada with the whole field to work up. Australia, again, set that zone. So effective early in this point.
So, Australia with a tight, junky, cuppy zone. But again, it's going to be Anushka Beaudry trying to throw over the top of it. But there is the block. Excellence in defensive positioning. Dali Alexander bringing us a clinic out here. Now moving it very rapidly. Pigeon on the sideline and a gallop over the end zone line for Jess Parks, and that is 2 breaks in favour of Australia to open us up 3-1. And I'll tell you what, looking dashing in the sunshine, Steve Wright with the clipboard, always looking the business. Of course, the coach of the Ellipsis women's elite team as well was on form in Ohio back in 2022. And the Canadians taking a timeout here to try and pause the momentum of this Firetail taking flight.
The Firetails certainly taking the opportunities, generating the turns with some really strong zone defense. You see them with the 3 in the front cup, forcing Canada to this side of the field. Canada both times going for a high, big shot. Plenty of air for the deep position to get under.
Well, sage words of wisdom from Carla De Filippo alongside Alison Fisher and Alex Davis for this Canadian women's team. Of course, the messaging about the fact that there will never be this collection of players at this event ever again. So I think it's one of the things that's really easy to miss when you're playing a World Championship, Avril, is the fact that this is your free time. This is your money. Most people are using their vacation days to come to a World Championship. So even when you don't get the results that you want, you have to remember the legacy that you're part of, the players, the friends that you make from around the world, but also the teammates that you develop all that love for. Because most of the time, these folks are opponents.
Yeah, and definitely making sure to enjoy and embrace and absorb the moment. It's a long way from Canada and the beautiful sunshine of the Gold Coast, and Canada not just playing for a bronze medal but playing for people back home. Shout outs to Alba Bradney and Alyssa Mason, who were unable to join the team on this trip. Flying together, flying always, this 2024 World Championships team.
Big pull into the sky against the wind. Seen a variety of strategies on our showcase field one today. Right to left, of course, those wind conditions, if you haven't already clocked that one. So Dos Santos, one of two on this roster, but that one's going to be too far to be captured by the paws of Pipi Robert, and a little bump might bring this back. Of course, Dos Santos, the Toronto player, very experienced.
You're right. Uncontested foul. Who's back? Put at one.
And of course, being from Toronto, it's Sixers style. Double Dos Santos' sister Crystal sits on the sideline just off to your left. Beaudry opening up the can with a beautiful slicing backhand that falls just in front of Britt Dos Santos. Collection perfection.
That timeout for Canada certainly helped them reset, just regain some poise and control. Same thing, just working up this fourth sideline. Not much space to work with, but Dos Santos and Beaudry, fantastic connection throughout this tournament, continues on their merry way. Big mark from Oten. You can see really forcing them to work away. Australia, Sally's UEC peeled off in support, but didn't get there quite quick enough this time around. But Australia still looking a little more in control to Canada. They are up 3-2.
And what a change of fortunes. We said it was a close, thrilling finish, but a 4-0 lead for Canada last time, so not quite the start that they had previously, but certainly if momentum changes back the other direction, we know that Aussies can grind it back. Of course, it was all about those breaks. And that final little piece of touch on the end. So Firetails looking to keep their nose in front, or bigs perhaps we should say. Phillips collecting the scoop and sending the shoot. Can they track it down? That one's going to sail way too far. Eva Weatherall in the end zone with steps, but Phillips boosts it too big.
A little bit of field position play here, not a bad option. Pinning Canada to the sideline. Australia will be back in their defense, which has performed well so far.
And Phillips, of course, someone who can be relied on in a sticky situation, was involved in a solid 50% of those breaks to claim it back last time these two met. Big boost into the end zone. And that will just sail a little out.
So both teams potentially fatigue coming into play, Hannah. The last day of a long tournament. Certainly be pushing themselves and willing themselves to put in those last few bursts of effort. To have Karimai very creative with her throws. I'm sure we'll see some nice shots by her.
Well, we certainly will. Nice inside channel exploited. Nichols pops it through. Again, these high release dishes going downwind. What a beaut. Grange with the range for Prentice, who snags that one. Of course, plenty of World Games opponents will remember each other from 2022. Prentice, a big part of that silver medal for the Crocs back in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay. Do we have a resolution? Or so you're calling? Okay, calling a foul. Okay. Stall count. What was it? It was okay. All right.
So an accepted foul, and Australia set up a 6-1 vert stack movement from the front.
And another high pass being brought back down to earth. It's a scoop dish for Prentice. She'll eat it up just over the goal line, and Australia eating away at the lead. So 4-2 the score.
So far, the Firetails certainly using the wind to their advantage, better than Canada, as Hannah called several high shots. Perfectly weighted to the advantage of the receiver, as you see here, Georgia Egan-Griffiths. That's a flick shot, push pass. Just trust the receiver in Prentice. Nichols also in the space. As you said, a few World Games teammates combining here. And although Australia playing off for bronze on this field as well as the mix on field 2, they have secured their position in the World Games, qualifying as one of the 8 teams. Of course, China, who has already got the bid as a hosting nation. So Australia, these players will certainly look to use this tournament to ramp up in anticipation of those selections.
Well, Beaudry with the vision, but it's going to be an Aussie blocker clock, and the fans enjoyed that one. The noise coming off of the crowd today has been adding that extra something to these Aussie tanks.
Yeah, Panya Preston there just getting on that inside lane. Gets enough of a touch to deflect the disc and generate the turn.
So Lucy Della setting the sights, but not getting too many options, but that's a lovely little inside through to Kat Smith. The Aussies really winning the skies here. Now it's you. Oh, but Smith with the drop. Goes with one hand on a slightly awkward pass, but nothing awkward about that. That is a read for days. Chloe Evon. And that will be Canada on the charge.
Canada now starting to also adjust to the downwind direction of play. That backhand just floating so nicely crossfield to that corner. No defender in sight. You see just that little backwards dump. A little bit too feisty for Smith. And perfect float. Just riding that wind all the way down to the corner. Emon, that certainly wasn't an easy one coming over her head, but well tracked and secures it in front of the defender.
Well, Chloe Imot using every inch of that 5'7" frame. Of course, a Québécoise athlete playing for Iris. Not her first go at a national cap. Played for TC back in 2020 and the beach in, well, this year, this cycle.
Certainly feels like a lot of international tournaments all squashed up together. As we know, a few of those delayed, so these cycles certainly running very tight.
Oh, it's been a long time coming, this tournament, but it has not disappointed. Absolute shout out to Matt Ryan, the local LOC, and of course our amazing WFDF events team, who do a great job of these ones. Prentice on that inside undercut. Paramount has got a big old arm if she needs to throw on a high stall, but Phillips delivers the underneath. Yeah. A contested stall out.
Stall, yeah, there's a stall call. Okay.
I feel like I took care not to the fast count. So I feel like I got the key of 10 off. I really feel like I got it in between 9 and 10. Like as I went. Okay. I'm gonna disagree. So I think it's contested.
Okay. Everybody back to where you are. This was released.
So a nice discussion there. The two players both giving their own
back
perspective, acknowledging that they weren't on the same page. Eventually resolved by a contested call.
Prentice shooting in that inside channel again. The Aussies really loving the action on the forehand inside break, just softly. Lots of pressure from the Canadians. Oh, that misses the hand by a millimetre and in for the goal. Brittany McCarthy unleashes and uncorks.
And that's Prentice on the board with 2 goals already. Showing her experience, just popping into the right spaces, working hard to get on the end of that. Australia with a fast break. Their chargers still willing to put in the effort and the yards. Timeout is called. Spirits are still high in the Australian camp as Team Canada getting out the clipboards, trying to work out how to stop these lovely, high, lofty Australian throws.
Alex Prentice, little dish spike just to secure it. And I have to say, at the moment, these Firetails are just looking so good. Really confident, very strong on the disc, and taking all the catches under pressure.
For sure. Australia now 4 breaks up, my apologies, with 2 in succession. Pre-game, coaches were talking about playing with freedom, and freedom there is. Australia getting creative, as we can see. Team Canada making sure they keep nice and cool, see if they can chill out this Australian offense.
Well, jerseys being traded in the player tent, just behind field 1, providing lots of shade for our spectators. That has been the more popular place to sit, of course, more exposed in our stands. Higher UV factors down here on the Gold Coast. So staying in the shade, and of course, we cast our minds back. This tournament started very hot and heavy in terms of the weather.
As you can see, the little ones cheering, their parents on, cheering the Firetails. You can see some Brisbane locals there having a fantastic time, enjoying this lovely bronze medal match.
So another chance to run down a break here for Team Canada. Not Team Canada, but an offside call. It's going to give Canada a break to start off. Of course, our lovely game discs. Discraft, the official sponsor of our game discs here at the World Championship, as Brodie just rearranges the tongue in her cleat. Got to make sure your equipment is all securely fastened.
Yeah, it's a bit undisciplined of Australia with that offside, hoping to tighten that one up, not give Canada easy field position.
Bump up high. Nice early movement. Jacobson, high catch under pressure from you.
Cat Phil here on the mark, coming across the D-line for Australia.
I like that, trying to really take charge and imprint themselves on this game. Dos Santos, though, with vision on the soft side, and it's a drop with contact after the play. Jacobson, accepted foul. But there will be some discussion away from the disc. Of course, a little bit of a difference in the USA versus a WFDF play set. What are your feelings on this one?
Yeah, it was a tricky one. I don't think that Pigeon actually had a play on the disc, and certainly the contact, I think, impeded Jacobson in terms of controlling it. I think she may have even had like a second bid. I feel like that disc was knocked out of possession with the body contact, but it is an accepted foul. Oh, sorry, it is a turnover.
It's a retracted foul, and Phillips will start us off. The beckoning hand. Trying to work these ones through. Oh, that is a nice gainer. Sitting perfectly on the breeze. Phillips now. Such a storied ultimate career as Dos Santos tries to go for the sneak and leaves a free player. And that's an interesting choice to go for, because, of course, the throws have been on point, but that one is denied. Brodie just getting some space, but that's going to be easily collected. A little run into the scoreboard.
Sally Yu, dedication, making sure that disc was down, gives the scoreboard a pat on her way back up.
Phillips to pick us back up. Matching up with Brodie.
Matchup we wanted pre-game.
Oh, I mean, heck yeah. We know that the Aussies like to pull Cat in for some double duty every so often, and why not? Well, that's a ripper. That's going to test the footwork on the far sideline, but a little dust cloud and a travel on the initiating throw of this offensive possession from Phillips may see us come all the way back.
I do like how Australia are using the width of the field. That swing pass from Phillips to Meehan, and Meehan with a second raking backhand of the point, pinpoint to her receiver.
So we start travel call on. Or you? Okay, okay. No, it says her job, but still, yeah, it's her job, not mine. No. It's like I'm looking at.
So just a discussion in the centre field, and we'll be back in play. Lots of stoppages in this point. And again, we squeeze up line, And that's a shot fired, but it bobbled. Great defensive play. Is that Reef Chan? Or is that a 78? Oh no, it is Reef Chan. Visor action for days. Another block for the stats tally on the tournament for number 18. We don't collect those across the tournament, but she's been getting reps for this D-line. Huge!
Beaudry to bring it in for Team Canada. Big flat mark by Phillips, preventing the Hawks. Same goes for Patterson.
Oh, that's a ripper into the deep space, but even the layout of Anushka Beaudry cannot get there. Spicy taking on the deep shot, but recovery underneath. Tipping it, flipping it. Phillips with a backhand to the break side. Oh, but what a smack of the jar. Jacobson winning the sky battle, and we're getting another, like the opening point of this game, back and forth and back and forth. If Canada can grind this one out, it will be a momentum taker for sure. The last minute dish to Zhang.
And again, Australia defence setting a flat mark, making Canada throw it all the way from side to side.
And a foul call with a player in the dust at the back of the stack. Certainly all of the athletes out on our showcase fields have been leaving. And as you can see, if when they've taken off their socks after they've decleated, there's a solid line. It's not a tan line, it's a dust line.
Yeah, those sock tans, those watch tans, certainly very prevalent across this tournament. That's why we say slip, slop, slap, slip on a shirt, slap on some sunscreen. And just looks like it will stay with Jacobson. Trying to work out what's going on as the disc comes back in.
Well, lots of upline grinding cuts, but it's going to be a throw around. Oh, but my goodness, Kat Phillips! Visionary defense off of a spicy shot, trying to lead Anushka Beaudry. Bosch coming through from Chan, but of course Phillips' other discipline, Aussie rules, has a touch more contact than ultimate frisbee. And another big backhand break. Oh, but the spoils of war. Anushka Beaudry sitting on a different matchup.
And that's 4 turns apiece now for Canada and Australia. Surely there's going to be a timeout called at some point to try and reset things. Turning out to be a real grind this point. Canada trying to stay in touch. Australia trying to pull away. The defense of Australia, as we see another foul called. Plenty physical already in this match.
I don't know what that does, but it's just like that was a cool. I didn't see you, not that girl. Sorry. But yeah, I didn't see you coming across.
Yeah, we'll just fight ourselves more. Okay, foul accepted. Start from 1. Okay.
Well, I wonder if contact was involved in that initial matchup between these two, but Canada just going to chuck it into the end zone. But what a drop!
Slips through the fingers of Beaudry.
Well, that's the wrong kind of slip, slop, flop.
Slopped out of the hands by Beaudry.
Too much sunscreen. Slippery fingers.
Maybe the sun, a bit of a factor, shining into the player's eyes at that angle, also come into play.
Oh yeah, the commentating in cap is clutch in this round. Well, we're now equaling our highest turnover tally. 9 in this one, and it was an Aussie upwind break to start the game. Are we going to get the same affair here? Sally Yu looking a little lost, but coming through for the underneath, supporting their teammates. again, some of the vision on these Australia throws. Patterson now. Oh, the wind's going to take that one, and Zhang will eat that for dinner.
Turn number 10 as Canada go big, but so does Alex Patterson. And you can see the weariness of the legs, everyone on field. Just hoping for this point to eventually be over.
Well, Dos Santos with the pre-stall. The recommended is to have 10 seconds to get the disc back in play on an infield turnover. And you can pre-stall call delay of game. Phillips with the disc.
Canada are really prioritising no open side, forcing Australia to use that break. Earlier in this point, managing to get those around backhands, but now working that inside flick. As we see injury call, Ian comes off pitch.
Well, that's now 12. And we won't say what the total passes is because it's not a great ratio.
There's the flag slapping in the background. Right to left, the wind. Australia earlier dealing with the downwind conditions much better than Canada, as we do have a timeout called by Team Canada. Fair enough. It is a grinder. The players will have a well-deserved water break, recollect themselves.
And indeed, 50 minutes nearly expired on the game clock, and Australia only 5-3 over Canada. BC Ultimate providing some excellent stash. So the team's not taking a timeout, confusing us a little bit, but we're back in action here in the women's bronze medal match. Perhaps just some spirit captains huddling together to just chat about the nature of this game. Keeping things cool, we've seen lots of spirit stoppages used, does stop the clock at this World Championship, no shame in doing so, but that one is a bit of a shame. A high disc not able to be collected. Menzies trying to reach up, but now we do have the timeout being taken. Well, that is fair enough for us, folks. 13, unlucky for some, a total turnover number in this point. So talk us through what's causing the spoils here, Avril.
Yeah, so we have here Team Canada prioritising the open side. They've been forcing Australia to go for those rounds, and Australia, those flat marks, straight up force, preventing the big huts from Canada, forcing them side to side. A couple of those fading far off to the sideline and out of bounds. I mean, the windy conditions certainly coming to play. A couple of deflected discs. Kat Phillips just getting over the top of her matchup in Beaudry. And just a little bit of misfocus perhaps. Fatigue setting in. Players not quite watching the disc into their hands. It's all sorts at the moment. Hope that both of these teams can get things a bit tidier, because this grind certain to be weighing on the legs of both sides.
Well, and grind is 100% the word for this matchup. It was a toe-to-toe tussle after the Aussies brought it back in the earlier stages in the tournament. Of course, this women's format, a very interesting one, difficult to schedule with the number of teams in the division, but some nations saw their chances at a medal being snuffed out on just day 2.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a matter of those make or break games. If you can pull through, it puts you up in the higher or the lower bracket, determines the fate of your tournament. But as we said earlier, this tournament, not just for the results, qualifications for the World Games, meaning that some of these finals and other bracket plays also having significance for nations and their opportunity to play next year.
That's an opportunity beckoning, but a miss from Jacobson. And Danny Alexander staying focused, making the recovery. On the goal line now, knocking on the door of another. And that's a huge catch rolling around in the dirt. Of course, home soil on these shirts is no bad thing in a bronze medal match.
Definitely not, Hannah. Australia just proving that they were here to grind. Bit of misfortune from Canada's part. Just multiple discs swinging through the hands. Australia with big momentum now. 3 breaks in a row. Really asking the questions of Canada. And a couple of those breaks upwinds as well. Canada haven't shown us the preciseness of their throws in that direction, so they're certainly going to have to tidy up passes that way. And hoping to find a spark a long way from home. Can they stay together? Can they connect? Can they play for each other and all their friends back at home?
Well, not just momentum, but mammoth momentum. To tip our hats to, of course, one of the local clubs here in Australia. But it's so wonderful to get this women's final. The scoreline currently looking very uncomfortable for the Canadians. Can they pull themselves out of a hole as the Aussies pull with the wind at their backs? Smooth moves.
Zone look now for Australia, forcing them to this close sideline.
Yeah. Boy Lewis. Those little moves through the middle. Playing a game of catch with Maria Beauchemin.
I think it's a good call strategically for Australia to call the zone after that big grind of a point.
Well, we've got a lot of fresh legs coming out. This is many of the D-line athletes in the centre, just behind the end zone. Front set is Melissa Dunbar, who had a glorious game under the showcase lights yesterday evening. You can see that right leg taped up to high heaven.
I think Australia will be backing their chances if the game does extend to long, grindy points. Speaking to the coaches and the support team, not only coaches, team managers, multiple physios, but dietitians and mental strength coaches as well, amping up this team, getting another break opportunity.
Well, and the vibes from the crowd, energy, of course, with Australian success. Many are making their journey across, to the point that some of the player supporters who've been buying their tickets for access here on a daily basis are finding themselves potentially squeezed out. I know the LOC, though, have been working hard all day long to make sure that everybody who's locally here on the field site is able to get access to our exclusively cordoned off area. Although you could make it a dry site and then maybe you don't have to have the cordons.
It's tricky with those occupational health and safety constraints.
A massive shout out to all of the folks here in the Gold Coast trying to make that happen. Every effort we give, it is for the players to make sure they have the biggest stage, and the biggest throws are blocked by Canadian efforts. Jolie Valencerina getting up big.
As you can see, Canada also having some fans in the stands, wheeling their team. And that zone again from Australia, just pushing Canada back towards their defending end zone. Oh, a low throw, unable to be saved. Australia, another break opportunity in a short field, carrying that momentum. Will it be break number 4 in a row?
Well, I think for the first time, certainly from my experience calling games at this tournament, have we had a timed half yet? Backhand joy, though, for Firetails, and they snatch another break. Wow, what a run. We've gone from 3 apiece all the way through. 7-3, Australia on the brink. Well, if we haven't had the first half being played out as a time cap just yet, Avril, we're certainly very close to it all ending.
Yeah, Australia will be looking to try to generate another break, continue on this momentum train. Good enough to get the disc back in possession. That zone really pushing Canada all the way back to the defending end zone. Ends up forcing a low throw. And Australia defensive line, converting plenty of these opportunities. And that is Panya Preston with the goal. One of the emerging leaders for Club Ellipsis, based out in Melbourne. She's been getting big in these last few games with some huge defensive efforts and now rewards herself with a goal.
We've got Uni, Lyra, AP, Gretzky, Denny, Shears, Maylene.
Well, the coaches providing sage advice, and you can hear the vibes coming off of the Firetails as Steve Wright gives the next line. The Canadians, of course, a little more secretive this tournament. They've been keeping their cards close to their chests. But, of course, to finals tomorrow. Make sure, if you are not physically here at the Gold Coast, you get your ticket to watch the big shows. Of course, the Ulti-World subscribers, we have them in our live chats. You get to hang out with the crew in the Discord if you get the full subscription. Or, of course, just your event pack. It's not very expensive. We kindly ask that you don't share your login credentials with your friends, because if you don't buy those event packs, if you don't get your subscriptions, we can't come to these events.
That's right. We really want to showcase Ultimate to the world, making sure we can bring you some high-quality footage. The production team, the cam ops, all working superbly during this tournament. As a nice rolling pull, Kat Smith angles that one beautifully. Canada trapped on this close sideline to get their offense.
Beaudry with the pickup.
Just checking the disc. Might be a little bit deformed, but she thinks it's good and gets things going.
Oh, that's a spicy forehand from Static, and Dos Santos on the other end of it. Well, when you find yourself in a hole, a set play to your diamond athletes will do very nicely, and the Canadian team, Budgie Smugglers action on our far sideline.
Only in Australia.
Do you folks play the game where if you choose a scoreline and the scoreline happens in the match, you have to do the stupid thing you'd say you'd do?
Yes, that is definitely on the cards for today. Won't be surprised if there's a few more of those dares coming up.
Well, hopefully the Budgie Smugglers stay on.
Ideally.
No one wants to see that. But of course, it is an iconic part of the sporting nations between us. Because, of course, our nation and your nation famed for Test cricket matchups, and you get a lot of streaking in cricket. Wild. But I mean, it's a long game, lots of overs to be played, but this one ain't over till it's over. Canada trying to throw themselves out of the hole.
They'll be looking for a few more efficient offensive points. This one being completed in one pass, in a contrast to the previous point, which felt like infinite.
Indeed, we were locked in a weird dimension where no one could score a goal, for quite some time. But nice rapid pace for Canada gives us a new energy. Phillips, high, dishy backhand. All the high releases. I mean, bingo card for the throws for this Aussie team, but a turfed scuba, a little bit too much swagger. And is that going to be squandered? Huge reception, efforts, the defence, an injury. But you've got to give it all in this match. Well, Wager betting on her teammate. And that looks to be Anna Rosler, who is probably one of the elder division players here for our women's action. 41. Still kicking it with the best of them. Oh no, I tell you, that's not Anna Rosler. That's Eva Weatherall. Eva. So a youngster at 34.
Caro Ma tries for that push pass, doesn't eventuate, giving Canada the disc straight back.
And Wager is going to open up the space again. I don't mind trying to play position to make sure you're not conceding. But at the moment, I think maybe just waiting a little bit for the cuts to develop so you can get your players underneath it and go all the way up this upwind break. Prentice watching that all the way into the hands. Of course, it's the tulip bob. Phillips, though, in power position, has an opportunity, but great defence underneath it instead. Saves the day. Christine Jurichuk shucking herself on the floor. Now it's Crystal Dos Santos.
As you can hear the Australian sideline calling home and away. I think that was the forced middle, generates the turn. Georgia Egan-Griffiths gets up high for the grab.
And dishes to Caro Ma, but we'll get another stoppage.
An injury sub called by Caitlin Grange.
That's a shame. She's been playing very well today. Hopefully she'll be able to just resettle herself and get back on the pitch, but I know 25 other athletes who will happily hold space in her place.
Me and subs on, just settling on the count and position.
Just what the doctor ordered for that substitution. Phillips with the vision that takes the simple stuff here for this offensive hold, and Prentice watches the disc all the way between those big glove palms. No extra friction required, just straight class.
Those cyclone gloves, very popular with the Australian athletes. Nice and thin and light. You can get plenty of pairs at Bunnings as Australia take half 8-4 against Team Canada. Australia looking the goods in prime position in this bronze medal match, as the forced middle just forces Canada to throw into that mid space, and Georgia Egan-Griffiths getting high, using that break side. Kat Phillips again, just with that dump and swing and easy score.
Yeah, real patience and finesse as we just reach half-time with 40-some minutes left of regulation play. These two teams just battling that first point, 9 turnovers. But we've got to talk about that absolute stomper that had a total of 13 exchanges of possession. Of course, though, at the moment, the Aussies in charge. But Carla De Filippo, thank you so much for joining us on the sideline. Obviously, a difficult start to this game for your squad. in terms of how you're going to mentally approach the second half as the time starts to run out for your medal chances, what are you looking for on defense to win the disc back?
You know, all it takes right now is one break in this game, and I believe that our team could mentally come back from it because of the way the wind is going. If we get one break, it hopefully can translate into two, and then that will be the mental uptick we need to carry us some momentum into the end of the game.
And then talk us through your offensive plans now. Obviously, the breeze is a big factor here.
Yes, we're going to probably start running more of a horizontal set just to have another handler back to help out. But, you know, it just comes down to fundamentals, catching and throwing better than the other team.
Well, we really appreciate your time, Carla. Good luck for the second half.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Well, Australia igniting the tails and flying high here in our women's bronze medal match. Australia for 8, Canada 4. Well, the half-time being taken here very late in the day. Eventually we reach a scoreline, Australia 8 and of course Canada 4. Thank you for joining us, Luisa Batista. You must be very thrilled with your athletes' performance out here.
I think everyone, myself included, the staff, the audience, everyone in Australia watching, I think we're just absolutely wrapped, over the moon. Game's not over though, still got a lot to give.
Yeah, talk us through these vibes from the far sideline. Obviously, all of Australia getting behind you here.
Yeah, our message of this game is all about legacy. The Firetails, you know, as important as this is to us and this iteration of the team, we're doing it for every Firetail that came before, starting in 1990 all the way. It's been, you know, a rich history, 34 years. So we're doing it for you. That's the heart and soul in this game, and the audience representing that as well. And we actually do have some Firetail legends in the crowd, really, really supporting us and giving it our all.
Absolutely. And speaking about legends, we've heard that mental strength has been a focus for this team. Can you give us some insight into that, Louisa?
Yeah, definitely. So we've been working with a special mental strength coach who's been attending our training camps and with us for the campaign, giving us the tools we need to make it to this game and to be in the position that we are. So, yeah, it's all about the heart and the grit and the grind and believing in the legacy and what we have to offer here at this World Championships.
Well, you've been offering us some serious dishes and throwing creativity, but you say the game isn't over. Do you think there's any real adjustments that you have to make to just add that extra bit of polish?
I think we know where we've still got more to give, and I'm very excited to see what this second half will bring.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Louisa, and good luck in the second half.
Special message!
Well, there you go. 34 years in the making for this Firetails program. I love it. They've all got different messages written on their tummies. Of course, it's nice to get a little show of the abs. That's usually the Canadian style, though. Of course, one of the iconic fashion moves from 2022 World Ultimate Club Championships. Toronto Sixers with the tuck shirt, which I have to say I'm here for. It's a great way to show off the athletic musculation. However, it does make your numbers really hard to read.
Commentators curse there, making our jobs a little bit challenging. Everyone getting last bits of sun here as the sun starts to set. Australia in prime position at the moment to take this bronze medal. Canada certainly not down and out again. They've gone back to the drawing board. They're making those adjustments. Certainly their defensive pressure is looking good, but just so far offense not quite as tidy. They'll be looking to match some of that creativity from the Australian team's throws.
So just readying ourselves to open up the second stage. And stanza in this bronze medal match. Oftentimes, bronze medals, they're way more hype than finals. Obviously, in this women's division, we're expecting the game of the tournament coming up tomorrow, Avril.
Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to that Colombia versus USA matchup. As we've mentioned before, Colombia getting the better of the USA, both in the warm-up tournament, TEP, as well as in the power pool play. So a tantalising matchup. Make sure you tune into Ultiworld to check out all the action.
Yeah, get your ticket for finals day here at the World Ultimate Championships. We have had our guts friends here, but big snub for them having the G taken out of the WGC, but it's less of a mouthful for us here in the booth.
As Australia, just the standard vert stack, 2 and 5, making use of that mid-range game. Nice attack from Liv Carr there.
And nice to see Liv Carr back on the field, of course, had that injury substitution early stages, so nice update for her fans watching this one back. Caro Marr looking for an option. These Firetails happy to drive through on the underneath. With a bit of a push as we get some number matchup. That's Dunbar.
Lovely discipline by Australia. Unfortunately, that last throw, not so much, giving Canada the opportunity for a break in this second half.
Well, cooking up some defensive blocks, but overshooting the rapid pace of Jolie Valencerina.
Certainly a fair bit of discipline in Australia's vert stack. You can see only one cut coming at a time, making it really clear who was the targeted receiver.
High stall count, just bail on the breeze. But this Aussie women's team has been nailing that. Egan Griffiths. Now Phillips. So we get another stoppage downfield. And of course, just to update you, this matchup between these two nations doesn't mean too much for our world game standing. But the game going on our other live stream field has got some serious implications. Of course, we'll be bringing you a wrap-up of all of that on our social media as the Firetails look to wrap up their chances with a bow and a little bit of glitter inside the wrapping paper. It's a backhand crying Caro Marr with the battle on the end zone line, but a violation elsewhere on the field.
Yeah. Not in. Not in. Yeah. So, yeah. You still have the disc. Yes.
So that one called out.
Yeah.
Caro Marr be taking it to the front. So, knocking on the doorstep now.
Oh, and a launch from height that connects with Georgia Egan-Griffiths, and we finally get that notch on the post this second half. Australia 9 and Canada 4.
Caro Ma showing how it's done. That is 2 assists for her, but involved in plenty of chains of play. Probably one of the most creative throwers on this Firetails team. Gets horizontal to save the disc there. And we've seen a couple of push passes. That one just a regulation high release backhand to Georgia Egan-Griffiths. Her, of course, having represented Australia in the World Games already.
So let's have a look at our World Games implication. At the moment, we have our cut-off line there. You can see dead between France and Germany. A win for them for a bronze medal in the mixed division would secure their chances. The France's chances. So win to be in, and if they lose, it's Great Britain and Germany who will rise to the fore. Of course, if France do take the win, then it's all going to be about GB in that bronze medal game. And if they lose that one, their nation is going to be out. Germany, of course, that World Games star back in 2022. Everything so high level. Myself personally most enjoyed their social media game, but it's all about the game being played here. And it's going to be Jacobson. And a strong goal signalling there from Chloe Imon with the eyes there rising in the sunset. But as Coach Carla De Filippo said, Avril, they're going to need to start to really threaten for a break or see this one slip out of their fingertips.
Yeah, well, step 1 is hold on offense. Step 2 is get the possession when you start on D, and step 3 is converting that possession. So step 1, down pat, Canada. We know they've got a big game that was certainly on display against Germany last night in the showcase game. Big games, big players getting fiery. Dos Santos to Jacobson. Be looking for them to, in addition to Anushka Baudry, to step up in the dying stages of this game.
So the home crowd looking for their hopes to deliver a win. It's been a tough watch for the Aussie fans this morning, seeing their teams in all 3 semi-finals and each of them being knocked out in order to play for a dirty gold. Of course, just a reference to the fact that it feels like a gold. You end on a win. It's not a gold, but it's a nice consolation prize, whereas silver is the one that got away. And many of these World Game athletes will know exactly how that feels. Caro Ma, one amongst this pack. Phillips in isolation. Diop, the matchup. Of course, such a defensive powerhouse. Oh, power, talk about that. Is it perfect? It is, delivering the delightful biscuit on a platter. Liv Carr with the grab. The Melly Doctor brings it in.
World Games athlete stepping up. Georgia Egan-Griffiths to Liv Carr, both based in Melbourne, both Ellipsis teammates having plenty of success together at World Clubs, at the World Games, and now here in the World Champs.
You are so fucking good. Holy shit.
Well, some polite expletives though, but it deserves it. That was an absolute scintillator. Chills right down the spine of the end zone.
Yeah, Australia showing they've got the big game to match Canada here. And just a gorgeous float. Liv Carr boxing out her defender, just taking that line. No pressure on the receive in the end. And Egan-Griffiths, 1 goal to go with 3 assists and a block in this game. Won't be hurting her chances of another World Games opportunity at all.
Well, they're going to be going to the big show in Chengdu. Of course, the feed from these fields going to the People's Republic of China and having some Mandarin language commentary on top. Where we see a Baudry Bob, Pipi Robert just holding on and grinding down this sideline. Norton now to Jacobson. Oh, and that's a dicey pass off the balls of the number 14.
There'll be a chat here.
Okay. I definitely had the top half. Okay, and so I think I had my hands on it, but I thought if you had grabbed it first, then I'm gonna like not contest or anything like that. I just think I had both hands on it. Yeah. So probably a strip. But yeah, I don't know what you felt.
Yeah, I definitely felt like that part of my hand. I'm just not entirely sure. Do you mind if I ask for perspective?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was too close to tell for me. Yeah, I don't have a perspective. Anyone else?
I agree with that. I saw one time.
Okay. Okay. So, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Be at what?
Foul call?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Almost looks
So,
like Dos
you're
Santos.
calling foul? Accepted? Okay.
It almost looks like Dos Santos almost was holding Preston's hand as she caught the disc. So I think the hands and the discs all just getting tangled up together did affect Dos Santos's ability to secure the catch.
Well, Dos Santos on the goal line, and of course, who else do you want throwing from static? There is a pick signalled though, so we may rewind the tape as we showed you a little bit of behind the curtain.
And they're signalling a goal now, so retracted pick, goals will stand. Dos Santos to Baudry, as we expect the big stars trying to will their team's way into this bronze medal match.
Well, Canada with it all to do, a picturesque trading game in our second half, but it's all about Canadian comeback. Is that Oscar Stonehouse? I mean, I'm just trying to think, because there's no flames in their hair from the open side. Of course, it's been a lot of time for the Canadian Open programme, spending their little tour in Europe as their training camp, appearing at Windmill, London Invite. I'm excited for when that's the plan for the Canadian women, of course, to come across to Europe. Of course, it's expensive stuff. Massive thanks to everybody that helps add to the pockets of these self-funding athletes. They've all got day jobs to attend to, as Prentice raises their hand and readies to go to business on offence.
We've got a very strong O-line here for Australia. Nichols, Phillips, Prentice, Carr. Plenty of stars on this line, looking for an efficient hold.
Yeah, a big cluster of Crocs on the field now, kitting up as Firetails. As Baudry accepts the fact, look at the dirt on that shirt. The absolute grit and determination of both these teams. Blood, sweat, tears, hopes, dreams, training, preparation as the flight of the Firetails. Down pitch. Oh, but flying through with a block, but the spill afterwards. Conservation of greatness for Britt Dos Santos.
They were just looking to get it through before the Australian defence had a chance. I'm sure they were looking for the 1-2s up the field, but not to be.
On the 1s and 2s. Well, do we really like it for this women's bronze medal match? Is it wicked? But a pick will bring that back.
And again, Australia just showing their ability to use that downwind to their advantage. I think they've been playing to the conditions much better than Canada during this game, which has made all the difference. As you said, the second half, Canada managing to have holds, or both sides actually having holds, but you can't let a team get out 4 breaks in a row in this elite level. Australia looking to cruise towards the end as we hit the 14-minute mark, and timeout called.
Well, I presume a timeout taken by Canada. You've got to expect the next point is going to be a kill line. This is now where you rely on the shoulders of your absolute superheroes to get you an emphatic block, fire up the rest of the team, and see if you can steal the game away from those with the home turf advantage.
Yes, as we were saying before, Canada have managed to fulfill step 1 with their offense getting the job done so far in this half. Now time for the defense to get going, generate some pressure.
Now the Kangaroos sanctuary behind us, just watching on. The Colombian women's team was talked about being embraced by the land. And those crews watching on. I mean, I wonder how good a kangaroo might be at playing ultimate. I mean, you've certainly got to not allow them to put the disc in the pouch. But quite small arms, but big ups.
Yeah, not much reach. I wonder if they would catch a frisbee with their mouths, like a dog, rather than with their paws.
I don't know, has anyone thrown a disc at a kangaroo and see what happens? It's not the experiment I want to do, I'll be honest. Don't interfere with the wildlife. But as a thought experiment, it's certainly very interesting.
As the sun now setting over the grandstand, will the sun be setting on Canada's hopes?
Well, in the late stages of the day, we do get some fiery colours. And tails in charge as we see Chewy with the disc centre pass. Norton dishing back to Beaudry, whose legs must be very tired at this point. Imon through. Oh, Tiffany Zhang, what an absolute class throw that was. Steps out, release. Just a beaut. Well, this is more like the game we expected. This second half, neither team getting broken. No more than a fair exchange of one apiece on the turnovers.
And also in contrast, all of these holds also being very efficient with the passes in the single digits. That last one only taking 7 passes, 5 and 2 for Canada. So certainly the offense have turned the switch over. Now time for the D-line to really get geared up, put pressure on the Aussie offense, see if they can sniff a chance, or it's too late.
Well, we can never call time on the likes of Anushka Beaudry. 2 goals, 3 assists in this game as she gets some hydration and some well-earned rest on the far sideline. Looking for the upwind break against the all-star line on the other end. Rosie Nichols having a great day at the bank. Inspired by fellow Aussie Sarah Wentworth.
And you can hear the Canadian sideline chanting for defence.
Well, that's a huge pull. That's a very nice start on the upwind. Egan Griffiths to Prentice.
The defence chant still continuing. Sideline trying to give so much energy. Kat Phillips didn't take that swing option. Cutters are so far away. Goes for the overhead shot to Karima.
I don't mind that deep stack so much when you've got the feisty wind behind you and certainly lots of height. Oh, how on earth did Egan Griffiths make that catch? Must be a little bit of liquid chalk on those fingertips. Karama now sending it high, and Kat Phillips for the goal. Emphatic score, but that looked too easy.
And Australia showing that they can put in some efficient offense themselves. That was an 8-pass possession with several of those high lofty shots just over the defender's head to the break side. Karama to Kat Phillips. Kat Phillips, 1 goal, 1 assist and 1 block for this game. Karama with the 3 assists, chalking it up. With very little time on the clock left now, Australia on the surge. They'll be looking to finish this game on a high and continue this Firetails legacy.
Well, and get back on the podium for the first time since we saw us take over for the year 2000. Of course, it's always a bitter thing to swallow if you're the first time knocked off, but of course, many of these athletes still only in the midsection of their playing careers. A couple of them at their peak, a couple on the rise, a couple looking to play out their last couple of TC campaigns. But it is an honour and a blessing to be picked to represent your nation.
Australia with a quick rundown, setting up a zone, see them forcing to the sideline, but Canada just a jump swing to get out the back, and a nice high shot of their own and a great save.
Absolutely, Pipi Robert coming up strong in these late stages. Now it's Reeve Chan. Not getting tempted by anything too saucy, but a little bit off on the position. Kat Phillips taking that matchup. And we're still trading in this second half. Extra focus there for Sarah Jacobson. They are definitely here to win a bronze medal. Even that far away from the line, still looking at the foot, still in focus. Canada are not out of this game yet.
Definitely not. All holds after half-time, so really a tale of 2 halves. Just under 7 minutes on the clock now.
And 6 clean holds. 6 clean holds. If you'd have told me, coming out of the first half, that we'd get this performance for the second stanza, I would not have believed you.
Yeah, both teams just using the width of the field and then getting some nice gainers. Still working hard to the tail end of this match. We've got less than 7 minutes left. I think Canada might have timed their run a little bit too late, as we have a timeout called, maybe just to run the clock down.
It's never too late. Never too late, especially in a bronze medal match. The number of bronzes we've seen be absolute hype.
We have already seen quite a few comebacks in this tournament already. Of course, yesterday, Australian mixed team Barramundis coming back from a deficit to secure the win against Japan in the quarterfinals. And of course, if you haven't watched it already, make sure to check out the Opens quarterfinal between Belgium and Japan. This time Japan getting on top, but in a very, very emphatic way. We won't give away the spoilers.
It was definitely in contention for game of the tournament. Certainly a difficult one for the team being knocked out. But in terms of those two teams, it was indeed the battle of legacy versus the nation on the rise. So expect big things to come out of perhaps a refresh for Japan, and certainly those youngsters from Belgium. They'll be back at the world stage in a short 4 years, because this one's been in the oven for 8. Caro Ma setting her sights in a grinder for Prentice in the near side space. Again, trying to go for just the dominator set. Doesn't take the yards through to Kat Smith.
So again, the Australian stack setting very far away, allowing this handle weave. However, the continuation cuts not timed quite so well. but that's a lovely shot inside to Karimar.
Yeah, I think probably the biggest factor for me in this Firetails offense is just throwing themselves out of high-pressure situations. It's been about adventurously breaking them up. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it's not, but that one is a nice get. Florence Dion, the 24-year-old from Montreal.
And fantastic D on Kat Phillips, no less.
Yeah, add that to your Frisbee CV, highlighted in bold. Jury check now. Nice snatch for Cook. Got to aggressively catch the disc repeatedly, but I think we're going to get a foul call here as Smith and Jury check get back up.
Yeah,
It's okay. We'll just
okay.
keep
No call. Turn over stands. Let's go. Yeah.
That was no call there. That was Canada's prime chance, just knocking on the door in the red zone. Those were the ones that they've been looking for, unable to convert this time, but Australia needing to work it all the way from their defending end zone.
Yeah, making the team in front have to go coast to coast. A game of pinball for one. Ian Griffiths hanging on. Live now. Boot to Alex Prentice. Not an apprentice, definitely a master out here in this women's division. Oh, nice snag for Griffiths. Ungloved.
You can see these continuation cuts just coming a little bit too late for Australia, but they're good enough to make good use of that inside flick.
And to be fair, when you have a 4-point lead, that will help as well, but ripping it back. Dion with another block. Now Molly Lewis. Is she going to go for the big shot? No. Inside conservatism to Dunbar.
There's tied bodies on field. You can see the players all jogging to get back into position, willing themselves to continue working together.
But willpower isn't enough. That one just a bit too high. Great cut delivered from Rachel Cook, but the recipe was missing a certain something.
Australia again needing to work it all the way up. No surprises. Karimar picking up the disc. They have a horror set with Egan Griffiths and Phillips in the back zone. Phillips makes an early cut from the handler space. Karimar obliges.
And Kat Phillips delivers a left-hand catch. An instant score. Wow, Australia, as time goes to expire, we may still get a game to 15, but that, I think, snuffs out the candle. The belief that the Canadians said would be a key to this game, perhaps drained out by sheer firepower. Australian women's team getting it done in front of their mums, dads, brothers, sisters and ultimate. And these teammates have known each other for a long time. Beautiful stuff. Well, Carla De Filippo looking at the clipboard. She won't give up. Her team won't give up. But this is crunch time now. Australia, as time expires, we apply the soft cap. We will play this, get one out, and then add one to the highest tally. So a break here for the Aussies to say, we did it with 15. A little kick on the fielding of the ball there. Bibi Robert getting into position and a re-emergence of the zone.
Yes, it's been so effective for Australia. Might be an offside.
No, unclear as to exactly what the call is.
Baudry may have
Not there.
offside.
This is a brick mark.
They were too far down the pitch. They're trying to go for the reverse brick mark.
Offside? Okay, it starts at a brick mark.
Even if it's their second one? Their second one is not.
It doesn't, that's not in the rule anymore. Yes.
Well, Uni Jung with the excellence in terms of helping things, but of course we did get a recent change to the offside rules. So it used to be you'd have a repull situation, and of course you have to prepare for it without a reasonable delay, all those good stuff. In terms of if it's offside, now it's just going straight to the brick. But we'll bring you that full rule and knowledge. So Menzies, Chewy, dishes back to Zhang, who's been having a wonderful performance. Britt Dos Santos with a lot of momentum and a bit of a stumble. Of course, no intention to make contact with any other player on the field, but just pushing through. It's Chewy over the goal line. Catherine Hui. Menzies with the catch. So, just to confirm for you, a little bit of confusion on that one. And of course, these Canadian athletes, they're so used to playing in crowd situations. This is not unusual, but they play a lot of ultimate in the USA. And we talk about the differences between these two rule sets, Avril. So what caused that confusion here?
Yeah, I think in USA rules, a slightly different system in where if there's multiple offsides, there is a larger penalty, whereas with diff rules, just the standard, no matter how many offsides have been committed.
So that will confirm us game to 14. So we're not going to get every drop of juice out of this one, but that means it's an even bigger job for Canada to do, because they're now going to have to hold off the Aussies for a straight 4 points, and they're going to start off first match points on offense. Wager betting it all here on a rolling backhand pull. Now, can we get it clean as a whistle? We haven't had a solitary break in the second half. Phillips. And just moving smoothly through the gears as they grind towards the end. So Egan Griffiths, a dish to Prentice, and open, wide open, and Australia will be on the podium for the first time in years. Canada knocked off the shot wide open. They tore this game to pieces from the first half through and in front of their fans. They claim the dirty gold.
And look at what it means to these players. Emotions. We know it's not just the 24 players on the field, but the coaching staff, the managers, the friends and the family, these self-funded athletes peaking at this World Championships. The dirty gold in the grasp and onto the table. So well deserved after years and years of determination and grit. So much to celebrate for the Firetails, leaving a huge legacy for Australia in this competition.
Well, 34 years of Firetails and a bronze medal. The legacy on the stomach. Beautiful stuff, and immediate tears from Steve Wright the coach emotions. And I'm feeling it here in the booth a little bit as well. That was such a performance after being unable to snatch a breakaway in their semi-final against the Colombian women. Deserved third place, second runner-up. But hearts and hats off to the Canadians. They have played an amazing tournament. In our overall standings, of course, we still have the one yet to go, the big show tomorrow between Colombia and the USA. But an insane points differential, plus 27 over the course of the tournament, scoring 117 points overall. It's been an amazing squad and beautiful stars in the show, but I'm going to leave it to you to throw us to our sideline interview.
And we have Georgia Egan-Griffiths on the mic. Well done, Georgia. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Tell us how it feels to win this bronze on home soil.
It's pretty awesome. I think like throughout this entire campaign, we put a really huge focus on the legacy of the Firetails, and there's a bunch of ex-Firetails who've come down and who are like on the sidelines today. We've gotten a chance to know all of them throughout the campaign, and it just like means so much to be able to like put it in for the legacy of the Firetails. Yeah.
Well, in terms of the sharing between the generations then, what's the biggest kind of piece of advice they've given you coming into this game specifically?
I think just like take every moment, and whether that's like whether you're on the field, whether you're on the sideline, whether you're having fun back at your accommodation, or like whatever it is, it's just like take every moment and savor it, lap it up.
Well, you've got some big friends on this team, including a certain Alex Prentice, who shouted out your good self as having met at university. So in terms of the connections between you as individuals, I know obviously a lot of you on that Croc side as well at the World Games back in Alabama. So tell us what it's like from the inside getting to play with these superheroes.
Honestly, it's the best thing ever. Like, I get to play with a bunch of people week in, week out, day in, day out, season in, season out, campaign in, campaign out. You got Prent, you got Kat, Caro, Danny, Rosie, AP, JP, all of the legends, and it's just like phenomenal. I couldn't ask for anything more.
Well, you've carried the torch here fantastically.
Cool.
Georgia, congratulations, and enjoy celebrating with your teammates this evening and tomorrow.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Have a good one.
Well, that was a game, Avril, starting under the evening sun, and the set here for your women's division bronze medal matchup. It really was just the vibes being ridden by the Firetails, firing across from coast to coast. Excellent plays from the Canadian women, but it just wasn't their day this evening. Semi-finals day wrapping us up here in our women's division. It will be a Firetails first for this side of the millennium. 14 for Australia, Canada 9.